This episode of Inside the Game is powered by MSI Gaming. The game just got real. Head to our website at insidethegame.ca for all the details. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Game, your one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Beausoleil. Don't forget to head to insidethegame.ca, where there you can be a part of the show. Coming up on today's episode, we got some action heading over on the Switch. We're into more VR. Nate is back with some Doom, and we got news on Cyberpunk 2077. All that and a whole lot more. So stick around. Here's the Inside Scoop.
Well, summer is upon us, and the Fortnite world takes no exception to that. The 14 days of summer, starting June 25th, running to July 9th, in the Fortnite world is bringing new limited time modes every day and a new unvaulted weapon from the past year or so, but you better get on them because they're only going to last for 24 hours at a time.
Nintendo executive Mr. Bowser himself was cornered for an interview, and he discussed a lot of things to do with E3. The fact that they really wanted to make it a Switch show, they really wanted to show off a lot of these new games. But he was asked specifically about the 3DS, and he gave kind of an interesting answer. He said, as long as people keep buying it, they will always keep supporting it. At Nintendo, they want to make people happy, although they don't seem to have any games in development right now. But the popularity is still there, especially among children. So they want to keep supporting it as time goes on. This is good news for me, as I'm a huge fan of 3DS.
Hitman's been quiet recently, but IO just released the latest DLC in New York. The Milton Fitzpatrick is coming, and it's a new bank. You're gonna heist that one with all new guards and a bunch of new tools to take them out. So check it out.
Scurrying about in their miserable little lives. Never accomplishing anything of importance. Tell me, do you knit those sweaters yourself? Or does your wife do that?
A man needs a hobby, Miss Savalas.
So we got some new information from Paolo Sasco from CD Projekt Red regarding Cyberpunk 2077. They announced that there's going to be New Game Plus because if you beat the game, you're not going to be able to unlock everything in it. So this is kind of going to be their way to make you want to complete everything. And another great thing is that we got relationships coming to Cyberpunk 2077. Woohoo!
Wake the f*** up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
Okay, Nate, we're here this week, and we're up to our necks in the sinking city. So this week we had a chance to check out The Sinking City ahead of it coming out.
Yes.
And I have to say I'm blown away by the mystery and the way this game looks. It's an H.P. Lovecraft kind of mystery action exploration game. It's very open world. So we got a crack at it. And what do you think? What's your first impression?
Man, so just right from the get-go with the opening cutscene, I was like, okay, this is what we're into. A little bit of the supernatural, or so you think maybe. But you just start off and you're on a ship and you're having a nightmare, and then you wake up, and then later on you end up having another nightmare that you're having a nightmare. It's a little bit confusing.
There's a dream within a dream happening. It's super crazy. At the start, your guy is having these night terrors. And that is the core of the mystery and what they showed us in the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So you end up landing in this city. We'll call it the Sinking City. And there's two major problems. There are people that are having cases of hysteria, so people are just losing their minds, and that's kind of one of the main reasons you're there. And like you had said, the other reason is you're getting these night terrors, and it's not just you, it's everybody.
You find out very early that everybody in this city is having the same problems as you. They're getting these crazy dreams that are showing them crazy things, and not everybody is handling it properly. Now, the city is also faced with a physical disaster. It's been cut off, it's flooded, and a lot of the streets reflect that too. So in a lot of these places, you have to cross by a boat or just get around.
Which was cool.
Yeah,
Actually, mechanically speaking too, I mean, the controls were good.
As far as the game mechanics go, one of the few things that were really easy to figure out was that the boat controls were very tight and everything moved just like I thought it would. Your motion controls and you running around and everything I thought was very, very nice and polished.
Yeah.
The knock I have to add to that is that the game just kind of looks a little aged.
Yes.
So
graphics, like you said, that it's kind of, you're like, when you were playing, you're like, man, where's LA Noire? That's an old game, man.
It's an old game on the last console series, so it's a little weird to see that kind of a graphic style applied to this without being really toned up. And on the other hand, though, I'm kind of grateful because it looked good and it was convincing, and I wasn't drawn out of the experience at all.
No, not at all. Actually.
And also my computer could run it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's true. So a big part of this game, obviously, is the mystery solving part of it. So you enter a house that has a crime scene. You have this special vision mode that you can use to previous scenes that you get to witness.
Yeah, you can kind of go back in time and see what the events were that caused all this evidence to be scattered about. It reminds me a lot of Murdered Soul Suspect. You have a ghost vision, because you are a ghost in that game, and it's very similar. And they're very similar in their mystery-solving aspects too. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And another thing too, so if you're searching throughout the house, you look at this knife, and then you kind of collect this piece of evidence, and then you search somewhere else. It might even be a completely different place, and then you find this piece of evidence, and you go into this sub-menu, and you have to put all the evidence together.
Yeah, so you are actually doing the detective work. Instead of just watching this guy go through all the detective stuff and cutscene after cutscene of it telling you kind of what's going on, you kind of have to draw your own conclusions based on what you find in the world, and maybe there's a knife here and a broken glass here and the window's broken, so you start putting it together. But in the menus, you physically have to say, okay, well, there was a struggle, obviously, and this knife was bloody, so it turned bad. Put that together, it becomes an idea, like a revelation out of these clues. You get enough of those revelations together and you start piecing together what happened in this case, and then that leads you down the road through your vision. You're watching what happened, and then you follow it out the road and you follow those events, and that leads you to your next thing. And that's kind of the biggest guide that there is if you're doing it correctly, you're picking up all these evidence things and making the decision for yourself on where to go and check out the next building. So I thought that was really cool. The difficulty is all in your mind. If you can figure it out, it won't be that hard, but you have to find all these little pieces of evidence, and that's just the mechanics.
It's not move to the next waypoint and carry on. It's like you have to read everything and actually really just kind of break it down.
Yeah,
you have to solve the mystery.
You really have to solve the mystery by being this detective, this private eye. You have access to police records, library records, city records, stuff like that you can go to in the game, take all your clues, and kind of search through these files by several criteria and figure out if they have anything to do with your clues at all. You use this to get extra clues, find artifacts that maybe it tells you about the ship that crashed, and you had to go to the library to research that ship and find out its owner and stuff like that. So it's real groundwork, detective work that was really cool and made me feel like I was a detective in this sinking city.
Yeah, for me it was actually a breath of fresh air. I'm not really too familiar with these kinds of games, but it's not like it's so heavily focused on the mystery side, but then there's a combat too, man. I got killed a lot.
Yeah.
By some weird things.
Yeah,
some weird monsters.
Some horrible creatures that there's one thing that's just a bunch of hands or something that kind of comes at you. That creeped me out. And then the very next kind of enemies you fight are these weird humanoid things, but they're all grotesque and blown up. Being a H.P. Lovecraft piece of media, I love that it shows all this crazy, gross, grotesque stuff, and I can only imagine what is the cause of the sunken city. Like,
Yeah.
it is some horrible monster, and it's all visually shown very well.
So another great thing about the game is the voice acting quality in the game. The main character, he's just this kind of suave detective, and then all the people and I guess different races that you encounter, like this ape kind of humanoid race and this half fish water people race. Really weird looking, but really cool. And just to say it, the direction that they chose is really good.
Well, they spent a lot of time on the dialogue. You can tell there's a lot of choices in the dialogue that you can make to kind of...
We made 2 really big decisions that were pretty funny.
Yeah, so there's right at the start, there's a couple different ways you can go about how to solve some of these mysteries. Now, I don't want to give away this one, but there's just, you can be the good cop or you can be the bad cop, and it seems like it could affect you later on further down the road, because this world is just so big and all these characters seem to interact. We don't quite know the scope of it yet, because everybody you meet in this world doesn't seem like just a loose NPC. There's enough people to talk to where you can have these flushed out full conversations that, again, you're doing the detective work and it really goes along with that whole theme. But it's hard to find a character that's out of place or just doing something dumb.
Honestly, all in all, I think we've had a pretty sweet time with this game, so let's wrap up this review, man.
Yeah, so I have to give it a nod to the size and the scope of this game. I didn't know what I was getting into at
Yes.
first. The fact that it makes you do all the mystery work yourself, it doesn't hold your hand through it, I love that. That is the difficulty of this game, and that is, if it was a story, that's what you'd be reading for. So there's really little for me to pull away from it other than just some weird, the way things look.
Couple little textures and graphics.
Couple little texture, yeah, just really basic kind of bugs that probably aren't the fault of the game. And with that all considered, I have to give this a solid 7.5.
Man, I'm actually right there with you with all the same points, dude. 7.5.
Overall, we thought The Sinking City was a great horror mystery game with immersive detective gameplay and an awesome universe borrowing from H.P. Lovecraft.
What creatures? What are you talking about?
Wild beasts. They came to feast on the blood.
In this week's VR experience, we are solving some more puzzles with a unique shadow.
Lorna McCabe vanished on June 25th, 1996. I assumed she fell into the ravine, but the town needed answers. For someone to spend a week alone at the edge of the world. I never told them what I found.
So I jumped into the Oculus VR system this week with Shadow Point. The kind of unique twist on some puzzle solving with a bunch of shadows, and how the story unfolds is that there's been an earthquake or a rumbling up in this observatory where a group of school kids have gone and one has disappeared. Where has she gone? That's the whole point of this quest. No one knows what's happened up in this little observatory, Shadow Point. You go by yourself to uncover the events of what's happened in the past. Okay, so we are in the world of Shadow Point. We are transformed or portaled into another dimension is what's going on. And we're off to find her up there, which is right there. If you can see her. I'm kind of squinting, but either way. That's where she's at. And you use shadows to manipulate these puzzles, and that's how you solve them. So let's get going on this last puzzle I have here. We're gonna need this, and we're gonna need this. So, but you kind of wave that over it. So that puts us up in a new object and these lanterns that are around the place. So we're gonna use this key. Maneuverability is just by pushing on the pad. I kind of like the teleport system better, to be honest. I'm gonna grab this and turn it around. So now you have to line up the shadows, and this is finicky. This is my biggest problem with the game, is I find it can be a little challenging to get it in the proper shadow form. There we go. We got it in there. Now, we're gonna unlock the door, move in. That's her pet bird. Kind of goes along with the story. We're gonna get in. It has these little circles down there where you should stand, and it helps you kind of line up. It kind of gives you an indication of where you should be standing to line up in the shadows. Let's get into this thing.
Alex, I told you to wait. To stay right there.
So you're here to find her. Find out what's going on. And maybe pet a bird in the meantime. We're gonna solve one more puzzle. We're gonna take this. And we're gonna grab this cog over here. Automatically added to our inventory right there. We are going to add this here. Now you can travel in a couple different ways. We're going to change that. So if you hold down the B button, you can teleport. And I think honestly, for motion sickness people like myself, that's probably the best way to do it, so that you're not constantly, the minute you start moving, because you can move with the analog stick if you want, and some of these portals will open up as well. Here we line up the shadow. Maybe back it up a bit. There we go. Solve that puzzle. Now, if we put it back, the cog back in, you need that. Oh, it doesn't want to go. There we go. Okay. Over here, let's turn that around a bit. Not to me. There we go. Let's move him this way. Now, with this trusty little mirror that manipulates objects and stuff. There, but now we're missing a piece. Alright, we'll use the cog and lower this down. These ones line up relatively easy. It's when you stand in front of the light. Line that up. Another puzzle solved. And this will help unravel the story of the disappearance of the little girl. This is Shadow Point. Let's get to the score. Alright, so there is the gameplay experience for Shadow Point. Up in the observatory, that art style, that art direction they take with the game is obviously my feeling that gets me every time. But as you can see, not everything lines up with that shadow when you're trying to line up the objects. They just don't seem to click, that you need to be spot on. And it's a frustrating experience when everything doesn't jive the way it's supposed to, when you know you're already lined up. Overall though, great time, great art style, and the way that narrative is told, it's fantastic. I had a lot of fun on the Oculus playing Shadow Point. I'm there with an 8. Great storytelling with creative puzzles and a beautiful art style had us hooked. However, lining up the shadow mechanic could get frustrating at times.
Shadow Point Observatory doesn't merely view the heavens, and Lorna McCabe is still alive.
Yacht.
Yacht.
What was that? Alright, I'm back.
Yeah. Alright, we got Buccaneer.
Yeah, of course, Corey's got him.
I'll go Thatch.
Jackal.
This will close some doors. Block some hallways.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we got Ash. He's good. Buck. I haven't used her in so long. Used to be my main.
I think you're right downstairs.
Be advised your drone
Yeah.
has
No, there are a
located
couple on the
bomb.
main floor. Tagged one.
Ten seconds.
They have an
5
Echo
seconds.
and an Ela. Those are the other two. That helps you at all.
The bomb's location and defuse it.
There's no Kapkan or Frost. Kind of nice.
That's nice, yeah. I guess I'm on the far side of the boat. Never should have went random.
Watch for Caveira.
I can almost shoot the toes of some guy underneath this little vent. Almost. I can scan him through it.
You have located a bomb.
Drone activated.
So it's by the door.
Yeah, I'm already in here.
Yeah, we're inside, Steve.
Okay.
I'm very inside their base right now. And,
Oh, I just got hit with Echo.
some kind of mine, yeah. Me too, but that couldn't have happened at the same time.
Oh yeah, he's down the stairs.
You got hit by an Ela mine, Scott.
Yeah.
Have that grenade, boy.
You get him?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I saw him
You're
peeking.
gonna bust another hole here.
They're still shooting down there. Yeah. Oh man, that thing.
I hit with another Ela mine.
I got downed him.
Use your
Nice.
ability.
I almost
to
got
bust
3
through
of
this
them.
wall. Yeah, Steve.
Dude, I almost got 3 of them just
Yeah.
now.
Oh no, the grenade.
See this
Yeah.
wall that I'm pinging?
Oh,
Bust
got
through
caught
that.
on the wall.
Your ability.
Oh, which wall? This one here.
That one right there, buddy. No, I'm putting a ping on it. That yellow
Oh,
arrow.
Corey.
Okay, you gotta
Yeah,
stand where
I-
I am.
I thought they were
Yeah, I'm out of the way.
focusing on those guys.
Gas deployed.
There was a guy watching that door though.
Well, we got 20 seconds, yes.
Oh.
The
It's
diffuser
right
is
behind me.
He was to the left, through in the corner,
10 seconds left.
right there.
And he's right in front of you, mate.
Oh, there it is.
5 seconds.
Another one to the right.
4 remaining.
You
Got
got
him.
him.
4
Hey,
minutes
we
left.
won!
Mission
Wow.
Good job, guys.
Got him.
That was
Don't
close at
swear.
the end.
Good job, guys. That was a good one.
Yep.
They started panicking once you guys started picking them off.
Even ran in. I got surrounded by a Montang. I got pushed.
Oh yeah, here they come down the stairs, east side. Oh, they look like they're checking out of there.
Montang right there where I pinged.
Op 4 found a bomb.
Yep.
You must defend it.
Nice bear trap.
I shot him in the first turret. That's a nice kill. Okay, they're still. They can shoot down.
Sucks
Oh,
to
I
be
got
down
the
by
That
drone.
drone? That was a sweet drone shot.
Yeah.
It's one over here, Corey, with the shields.
Two of them here.
No,
They're
I
in
was
that
too
room.
greedy with the turret. Oh shit! Sorry. Oh, I mean, meow.
So they're in the stairs. So there's.
Oh, no way. Just be on the stairs.
Watch out! This car. Watch out! There, he's coming right on you. He's right there.
Oh!
Shut up.
You got this, man.
Right there, dude. They're all there. They're all there. I'm pinging them. Just wait. They're, I don't see him.
That's Montang. You saw it. Yeah, get the guy in the hall. Yeah, no, Montang. To your right.
Run around on him. He's in the
right
corner to the right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I fell through that.
Oh, okay, you're good.
Yeah, you're good. Yo, make sure he doesn't plant the bomb or else you're screwed. Cause you're gonna be toasted if he plants the bomb. It's an automatic lose.
He's in the corner right there to the left.
Op 4 has placed a diffuser near a
Oh
bomb.
no.
Protect the bomb.
You can get up on the
Yeah,
table.
now we're.
You might be able to shoot down on him.
It doesn't work. Dude.
Can you melee him?
Oh, dude.
Get the feet, get the feet!
I'm trying. I gotta reload. Oh!
Sure, that was shit.
Oh, you gotta die.
Melee. Save it for the melee, yeah.
All friendlies have
That's so trash.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Almost.
They tied it up, man. We gotta put them out
So
now.
good. That was
That's
really
a
good though.
greasy
Dude.
move. Yeah, that was, man. Yeah, everybody's screaming at you and you're just like, look at that.
protect the bombs. Op 4 has located a bomb. Be ready for assault.
Oh man, I almost shot you.
Man, they're still scanning. What are you doing? Don't shoot me.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds and counting.
Setting barbed wire.
Op 4 has located a bomb.
Laying out the bunker.
Oh. Okay, they're all coming through the west side. Oh, they busted out that doorway already. Like a big garage door.
Activated.
Here they come. Oh, they got Montane again.
You just think it's gonna work.
Yeah, got his stroke.
Whoa! Oh, crap. I'm down. Habana got me.
I got one. Montang's right here.
Oh. Oh, he shot me. No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's another one there too, Corey. Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, Montang's
yeah, he
down.
He shot Montang.
I got him with
He
my
shot his
turret.
own. Oh, I missed him with that shotgun shot. Crap.
I got a cap can crap kill.
Nice.
Saw that, man. That was sweet. Blew up right in front of my face.
1 op 4 remaining.
Oh, upside down guy. He was out there somewhere, Scott.
Yeah. It might have found a way into that room too. I'm not even sure.
There was a pretty big hole in the wall over there.
Who's shooting?
Oh, he
Not
moved
me.
quick.
Oh no.
He moved quick.
Came right into the bomb room.
Nice.
Here it is.
Oh,
Yes.
Woo. We win.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Nice. God, Drew, 7 kills apiece.
That was good.
Nice, boy.
Hard fought victory.
It
Feels
sure
good.
was. Took all night to earn that one, boys.
There we go.
It was fun.
That's how we end it.
Yeah, it was a good time. Right on. MVP. 5 more years.
All right, Scott, this week we're trying our hand at some God slaying. Scott, we're here with Warlocks 2 God Slayers on the Nintendo Switch. A side-scrolling action platformer, I guess?
Yeah.
Is a good way to describe this one?
Action platformer with a lot of RPG thrown in there, too.
Yeah. So what did you think of this one? Just kind of jumping in right off the bat.
Well, I love my character. I will have to say that.
Some unique characters in this game.
Yeah,
right?
I'm the fawn riding the centaur thing. But I love it. And I love the fact that there's many characters in this.
Yeah.
And you're encouraged to kind of grow your character up through the tree and see what their abilities are all about. And that's the RPG aspect in it. So it's got a lot of little nods from other genres that I really like. I'm not much of a side-scroller fan.
No, and it's got this kind of pixelated art style to it where you picked this fawn, I picked a necromancer to start actually, and again it's a got a skull, flaming red hair, and I'm pulling people from the ground. Like it's really some really cool abilities in this game depending on which character you choose. But what I found in this game quickly is that it is difficult if you're not playing with other people.
Yes, so the best experience I had was as soon as I added a couple players to my group, my party, we didn't have a healer, but we had a lot of DPS and a lot of tankiness coming from me, and that just made the game so much more fun to play.
Yeah, and we're talking couch co-op too.
Yes.
This is all local co-op.
It was all local co-op.
Which is something you don't see as much anymore.
But a feature that I'm really a fan of, because I just want to split my games with my friends. I just want to have a good time.
That's why we play video games, right? To have fun with our friends. And this game kind of offers that to you in the way of creating a party of these preset characters. I mean, I think there's 6 or 7 characters to choose from. I think 6 maybe.
Could be.
To choose from. And they all have their different abilities. Like you said, everybody's got their own skill tree that you go through and kind of different ways of attacking. Like the Necromancer doesn't have any melee attacks. It's all kind of magic attacks and buffs and things like that. So it was a bit getting used to. But what I found is when I played solo, it was difficult as a character like that. I can see, like you're saying, in a co-op mode or where you have somebody that maybe has some healing or some ability to kind of stop you from taking damage, it's helping through this because I found the fighting in this game game is fairly simple. Everything's controlled by kind of a 4-move set that you can kind of choose
you
for
get
the
4
triggers. Yeah, which I thought was really cool because as you grow your tree, you get more skills than just 4, and then you have to kind of start customizing what skills you want to use.
Yeah, and spending your points intelligently to get the one super ability at the bottom that you really want, and that's kind of what defines your character.
Yeah.
I like that there's the variety of characters and they encourage you to build them up, like I said, but also when you bring a new person into the game, they get a lot of these experience points very quickly.
Yeah,
so I found that even if I had somebody join in several hours later, it wasn't a big deal to catch them up at all, and they were already a functioning member of the team like 20 minutes in. So it made it really easy to get into.
That's really nice, right? Because that's kind of the one thing that would hold you back in a co-op mode is that, you know, the person jumping in and playing with you doesn't really have the opportunity to grow, or, you know, it's hard to grind through those first few levels. I mean, any kind of game where you have to grind to get your gear and, you know, your abilities and things like that, especially just to start, is kind of difficult. And I noticed that when I switched characters. So I was having a tough time passing a certain part of one of the levels with the Necromancer. I just kept dying, I couldn't beat these guys no matter what I did. I was trying to get all my skills to where I thought would help me, couldn't beat them. So what I did is actually tried another character, and she had more of like a throwing daggers, kind of a little bit of magic, but a little more melee.
Oh, that's cool.
And what actually I found is that she had more hit points, so I actually got through a lot of this stuff solo a little bit faster, and I progressed farther through the game. But the thing is, when you switch a character, I actually have to start from the beginning again. So you do the whole kind of grind out thing, and you're playing through the levels you've played through already, which is kind of a bummer. I would like to be able to throw that person into it and just, you know, like you said, level up a little bit faster, or join in with
my game and then do it. Yeah, that would have solved that problem
exactly.
too.
So for me, that was like the one thing about the solo kind of campaign that I thought was like, well, it's a bit of a drag. If I want to start somebody new, I got to start right from the beginning. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, I want to keep going from where I'm at, just with a character maybe at the same level. But
and it's difficult to continue going right from an early character. Like when you only have one attack, it's hard to get that first couple points in, and you really want that help.
There's just all these little touches in this game that kind of really make it worth playing and replaying. And I mean, honestly, I just really enjoyed this one. And I played through it mostly solo. I didn't do the co-op thing like you did. And we kind of had different experiences, but similar experiences. And for me, I think this game on the Switch is kind of the whole package. So if you had to score this one, what are you going to give it, Scott?
I had a really good time with this one. I love how it made me laugh. I like how it's got me into a genre I'm not really into, but I'm enjoying my whole time there.
Yeah.
And co-op with friends, I gotta love that. This one's getting an 8 for me.
All right, you know what? I'm right there with you. I love the music in this game. The combat in this game was a little tough to get used to at first, but once I got an idea with my abilities and kind of figured out how all my button mapping worked, it started to flow a little bit better for me. And lots of different characters, lots of different enemies. This game's really got it all. I'm right there with an 8.
Warlocks 2 Godslayers is a great game for the Nintendo Switch. Its pixelated art style suits the comedic characters, and the gameplay and controls are simple to learn, but mastering them is another story. There are many upgrades for each character, allowing you to customize your character to your playstyle. Running this one solo can be tough though, and finding yourself repeating levels because of the difficulty. If you can grab some friends to help out, this one's definitely a blast.
Alright, Drew, so this week we're doing something a little different. We're actually going to do a discussion on Bungie and the direction that Destiny's gone now that they've separated from Activision.
Well, I think this is the most exciting part for fans, especially for someone like you, who is such a hardcore Destiny fan, where I'm kind of more on the opposite. I've been into Destiny, I've finished Destiny 2, but once I finish the game, I kind of tapered off a little bit, and this is where they're starting to focus now, is to draw myself back in, to keep those who've already been playing, and then to bring in new players, those who haven't even touched the game but have always kind of wanted to, right? And they've never been able to kind of captivate them enough to get them in. And when you get to this point now that we've played Destiny 1, we played Destiny 2, and we're so far into the story, how do you start all over again, or have a new player come in, and where do they stand, and how do they get caught up? Well, that's what they're doing with the latest DLC, is they're letting everybody jump in for free, get caught up, and then hit them with the new DLC so that you're right there starting with all of us when we kick in.
Oh, it is such a perfect thing. For only about $40, you get all of year 3's content, which is good. That's a fair price.
Yeah.
And then you get the rest of the game for free, man. That's like something, because I've had so many friends, and I'm always trying to sway my friends into playing Destiny,
For
but
sure,
they're like,
yeah.
man, I gotta buy a $90 game plus another $90 DLC and plus this. And
That's the biggest thing, right?
But now, thankfully, from watching that big video, it really sounds like Bungie's trying to just be more for the fans.
Well, I think this allows them to cater to it. And if you watch the video, they say right on the video, there's two players. There's two things that Bungie's going to do. One is listen to the fans, and two, it's going to survive by the fans. If they don't have the fans, if we are not there for Bungie, there is no Destiny. Right? And that's where they're captivating us to keep going, to come back, to play some more. And the new DLC looks eerie, man.
I'm super excited we get a character back from Destiny 1 that I haven't seen in so long. And it's going to be a lot about her and going back to the moon, and I'm really excited about that. Another thing, too, that they kind of talked about that I thought was exciting, since I'm a hardcore fan and you're a casual player, you've never really dabbed into the raid, right?
No.
But this time around, they said their whole thing is they want people to basically be able to do the raid right away. So you might actually be able to do that, and I'm excited to see how it is. Like because it's hard to cater towards the casual and the hardcore, but I feel like the way they were describing everything, it sounds like this could work.
They said right when the DLC drops that everybody's access to everything. It's not hidden behind something, right?
It's not like you have to do a bunch of story missions and then 3 weeks of grinding certain quests or strikes or whatever, right?
Yep. So if you haven't played Destiny before, you can now get into Destiny at the base level. Play everything from the multiplayer. The new Gambit mode is in there. I just touched in not too long ago. I had a great time playing that. The story is there. That's available. All the DLC is available. And then the future DLC is there for you to catch up with the rest of us when we're jumping in at the same time.
Oh, man. It's really exciting. And another thing, too, that they're going to overhaul come September is the microtransaction sides of things. They're going to completely... I mean, they already have since Destiny 2 launched, because we all know it was a really rocky start with
shaders and that.
And so much crap, man. But now they're completely revamping it, and it's going to be just so much better. It's not going to be frustrating.
Well, they're listening to the fans. I think that's one of the biggest things you can take away from watching that video is that they listen. They've heard our complaints, heard your complaints, and heard the fact that other players want in but are too afraid to jump in.
Yeah, man. So, come the fall, I'm excited to hopefully get a bunch of new, Destiny noobs. This is my favorite time playing PvP. And, I'm excited to play the new raid and just see where Bungie goes in a year from now.
Well, this will be the first time for me to jump into a raid. I haven't done any of the raids before.
We're doing it this fall, man.
Oh, there we are, right? We're going to be there. We'd love to know your feedback. Hit us up on InsideTheGame.ca. Let us know what you think of the new Destiny expansion coming out this fall.
One way or another.
All right, Drew, we got our new game this week.
What do we got?
My friend Pedro.
Nate, we jumped into a very cool title this week, My Friend Pedro. What a stylized game. What do you think of this one?
So, stylized, yes. The graphics were actually really cool. I love the art style that they chose.
Yeah.
The gameplay itself, I was shocked, man.
So I've seen this game a little bit here and there, right? I kind of had my eye on it. So we reached out, got a code, and thanks to Thomas, man, this game is phenomenal. It's such a style, and the way it's all about movement, right? It's all about style and movement and gunplay, and then the game mechanics are just, they add and elevate something else. That's slow-mo, and then you're spinning around, and you're just able to aim
doing
whatever.
flips in the air, and
It's stunning. It reminds me, honestly, of Trials. If you play Trials, it's all, sometimes, depending on how you play it, it's all about more the motion and the way you land, right? Instead of going for the biggest air, it's all about style. And that's where My Friend Pedro really shines, because it's going from one platform to the next platform, to grappling hook, to leaping off the grappling hook, through the glass, slow-moing the entire thing to shoot out 2 guys to drop a barrel on some other guy. Like, it's just phenomenal.
Yeah, the level design I actually thought was pretty good because just the way they have everything platform is just perfect. You can make the jumps great. You can make these really cool, like you said, slow-mo styled double kills, triple kills.
Oh, wow.
And kind of a cool thing too, there's a whole point system. So if you do a jump, double flip, slow-mo thing, you get like ×5, let's say.
Right.
So then at the end of the match, you get leveled. So if you get C, like I usually did.
Yeah, me too.
What did it say? What is?
I got clumsy for one. I got something else that wasn't very good.
Come on, that was the one I got.
Oh yeah, no, the game is tough. One of the biggest complaints I do have about the game itself is the actual controls. They hook, right? You gotta hook. So you're able to kick stuff within the game, which is really cool, but in order to get to that button, right, I'm on the Switch, and if you're in handheld mode, you're like, I'm hooking my first finger trying to get to the X while I'm still trying to control both ways. I'm kind of hitting the guns and aiming the guns and spinning, and
I totally agree that the controller's layout isn't perfect, but it's still pretty good. But they have a lot of actions to do, right? So for what it is pretty good. Still, it's not. I don't think it totally takes away from the game necessarily, but man, when you gotta like spin and then do the kick, that's the kicker is the kicker.
Exactly.
You can't do it that easier.
You can kick guys, but you can also kick the objects within the world, which is awesome. I flicked up a frying pan, shot at the frying pan, killed both guys on both sides. Like I'm like it's just an action game, man. At that point,
like
right?
Tons of little fun, little things. So 2 great things. I always like to talk about the price. This game is only $20 on the Switch store or the eStore. So
what a steal!
What a steal! It is a steal of a deal. Definitely worth checking it out. Another great thing too in this game is the audio that they chose. Man.
The sound quality within the game and with the hype of the action, but even the score of the music within the game, it helps build up that hype and intensity of the action you're kind of dealing with at the same time. It's probably one of the best parts of the game.
Oh, absolutely, man. Okay, so we like this game a lot. Let's sum up this review.
All right, so controls are a little bit complicated and cumbersome when I'm trying to do this claw-like action thing. Gets me a little bit, but the audio, the gunplay, the action, the way that you're able to flow through the world, it all comes together in the end. I'm there with an 8.5.
Man, I'm actually right there with you. I'm on all the same points, 8.5.
Nice.
Priced at only $20, this action side-scrolling platformer is a must-grab. Suffering only from a tough controller scheme while in handheld, the great soundtrack and audio really drive you through the game. The gameplay is very fun and stylistic and really make you want to pull off a parkour headshot. Alright, so we're doing something a little different this time. We're going to do a Let's Play of Doom Multiplayer. So this is me kind of just showcasing a few of the different game modes. So this one to start is Soul Harvest. So it's kind of like Call of Duty's Kill Confirmed, where you kill the enemy and they drop a tag, or in this case a soul, and you have to collect it. Except there's a little twist with this. This mode you actually get to, the first kill, the first blood, drops down the beast. So in this case I actually got lucky. I got it right away, and as you can see I kind of tear with it. And with Doom's multiplayer, a lot of the maps, like, to be good in this game you need to know the maps and then what weapons flow with the maps, and then on top of that which demons match the maps, because as you can see with this I get quite a few kills with the Spectre, and it's probably the best creature on this map. So yeah, I don't know, I've played a lot of this multiplayer, and it's one of my favorites that I've ever played. I've prestiged a total of 11 times, almost 12, and I say that a total because prestiged 5 times initially, and then they did a huge reset after a full year, like the big year 1 special, and they launched all the DLC, which was all the DLC was multiplayer maps and new demons. So They gave it all away for free, and they gave you the option to kind of reset your character and unlock the stuff, or a couple other options. So at any rate, I would be max level by now, but unfortunately I'm not. So yeah, the multiplayer is so much fun though. Like I can't get over it. There's a lot of different game types, and when you just hop in the playlist, because there's only a few options now. They have team deathmatch and then team play, so it's all the different team play modes. And you know, at first, like with most games, I'm like, just team deathmatch only, that's it, through and through, team deathmatch, nothing else. But with this game, I don't know what it was, there's just something so satisfying. My goodness, like all the different game modes, I just tend to have so much fun, like equally as much fun as I would with just regular team deathmatch. So we're getting pretty close to the end of this clip where this is where I just kill. 4 kills. Oh, and there's 5. Okay, and I'm still the demon. And yeah, now we're at the end. So this game mode, this is an awesome game mode. This is completely new to me. I can't even remember the exact name, but I call it sports because you have to collect the ball and bring it to the other, bring it to your end zone. Or sorry, vice versa. You have to bring the ball to the enemy end zone. So it's complete mayhem, and I don't know what it is. There's something really fun because there's just this complete push back and forth the whole time. As you can see, like this, it's 3-3 for so long, and it's just like, oh, I get the ball, and then I die, and then one person grabs it, and then they die. But it's really cool. Like the unique thing about this is you can use your grenade ability. So in this case, I use my personal teleporter, which is a really, really cool kind of grenade option that they have in this game. It really just adds a lot of verticality and just mobility. But the cool thing is, like I was trying to say, is that you can like throw the ball, so you can pass it to your teammate, or if a guy's right in front of you and trying to kill you, you can throw it at him and then he's stuck with the ball and then you can shoot him and kill him. That's happened to me plenty of times, unfortunately, but yeah, it is what it is. But here we go. It's 4-3. Only a little bit of time left in the game. Hopefully I can stop him. Yeah, you know, Doom's been out for a while now, since obviously 2016, and I cannot wait to see what Doom Eternal's got up its sleeve. I really hope they bring back all these cool game types, and that, you know, we see maybe a few more. We've got a bunch of new weapons, so that's really friggin' sweet. But alright, so the way it works is they tied it up to make it 4-4, so now it's overtime. So next point wins. So at this point it's sudden death. And it's just complete chaos. So as you can see, my weapons of choice are the plasma rifle and the static rifle. Oh, so here we are. This is the final game type I will be showing, and this is Warpath. This is another, like, hard to say if this is my favorite or not, but it's probably my favorite variation of a control area style. Between that and then Destiny's Control, it's a pretty big toss-up. But this one's really cool because it's moving the entire time, so you have to be kind of flowing with the area the whole time while trying to, you know, watch your back. So, oh, here we go again. And in this case, I'm using the Cacodemon. Last time I was using the Spectre. This is the Cacodemon. This is one of my other favorites. It's between those two at all times. When they both released, because they're both DLC characters, and I bought the DLC, and when they had both launched, oh my goodness, it's all I used. Because they are both so good. Like, the Cacodemon's just ridiculous. again, situational though for both. I just love the CAC demon. You got the range of the tongue that's supposed to kill, and you can grab them when they're close. And then I unfortunately don't really show it, but you can actually blast them with your mouth. With your mouth. And I robbed my teammate of his BFG kill. Oh, that was a waste of a shot. Yeah, the multiplayer, like I said, it is just so much fun. It's such a fast-paced, like, strategic game. I don't know how to explain it. But when you get on a roll and then you collect the demon and then you get some kill, like there's not a lot of games that can bring that kind of satisfaction and fun, to be totally honest. So we're cleaning up pretty good right now. And oh, the static rifle, it is just so clean. So the way it works is the more you move, that circle in the middle fills up, and once it's maxed out, it's max charge. So you have to keep moving to keep it charged. But when you do, and you land a headshot and it's fully maxed, it's 79 damage. So it's almost a full kill. Like 100 health is your max health without armor. So it's pretty close, and that's why I love this and the plasma rifle. I'll just blast them, and then I'll use the plasma rifle right after. Plasma rifle, you got the flamethrower attachment, flamethrower grenade launcher attachment.
Armor regen activated.
So clean.
Capturing
zones. Recommend trying them. They're not like the static rifle is definitely not an easy gun to use. None of the guns are really easy, but it's probably the more challenging. It's high risk, high reward. Kind of like the sniper, the Vortex.
Capturing zone.
Demon boy. Another thing too, like I don't know, the demon drops, there's weapon drops like the chainsaw and the BFG. And well, that pretty much sums up my video. If you enjoyed this, I'm gonna do this again and maybe showcase a few other game types.
Nate, that is episode 30 in the books. Now, each and every week, you guys reach out to us at InsideTheGame.ca, where there we highlight one of your clips.
This week, we got Thorian Echo with the 2 sniper headshot in Destiny 2.
Let's check it out.
Zone A lost. Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. 2 for 1.